Joining me in the studio today, 5 panelists: A. Scott Bolden, actually to my right here, Jason Johnson, of course, professor, Morgan State University, political editor for TheRoot.com, Julian Malveaux, right to my left, of course, president emerita at Bennett College. Also, we have A. Scott Bolden, attorney, former chair of the Democratic Party. We also have Janae Ingram, who's also an activist, joining with us as well, plus Eugene Craig, vice chair of Maryland Republican Party. All right, folks, Reince Priebus, of course, incoming chief of staff to Donald Trump, said that, look, maybe if all the intelligence groups get together and present a unified report to Trump, then he might believe them.
It's not going to matter. Remember, he's smarter than the generals, and he's a smart guy. He doesn't even need intelligence reports. Look, all we have to do is add Denzel, and this is the Manchurian candidate. Like that's all. Exactly. That's all we need. It's very clear what was going on. Trump knows what was going on. Putin knows what was going on, and the Republicans in Congress are more excited about taking control of the country than they are us becoming a client state to the Russians. And that's what's happening.
Here's what's amazing: the Trump team actually had a significant team at Trump Tower pouring through emails weeks before they were even dropped by WikiLeaks. And so that was a relationship there. Roger Stone was in contact with WikiLeaks. And again, folks know it. Other reporters know it. They literally were going through the emails and helping select what they were going to release to the public weeks before WikiLeaks actually put them out.
You know, the thing about it is that troubles me the most is this conversation that President Obama had with Putin. President Obama seems to believe that everybody is as intelligent and has as much integrity as he does. And clearly, Putin does not. You tell somebody, you tell a bully, cut it out. What is the bully going to do? He's not going to cut it out. And so this whole notion of a bipartisan investigation is very important. And some Republicans, there must be a Republican of integrity in the House somewhere. There must be at least one who will say, and McCain has said it, let's get this thing going. Let's know what's going on. No one's saying that Trump, I still can't get it like through my head. Is it, okay, help me out.
T-R-U-M-P.
C-H-U-M-P. But anyway, well, okay, we know he, quote, won.
Got it.
But
look, Donald Trump won the election fair and square, all right? I was the #1 anti-Trump Republican, but look, he's our president for the next 4, maybe 8 years. You know, Republicans are taking this issue very, I don't smoke anything. But Republicans are taking this thing very, very seriously. John McCain, who's the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, is asking for a joint select committee. Lindsey Graham has been waving the flag on this from day one. You know, Marco Rubio is out on this. Kelly Ayotte is out on this. There are Republicans that are taking this very, very seriously. Russia's not a friend of ours. Russia's an enemy. And I think Russia should be dealt with absolutely in terms of being an enemy.
Yeah, but you know, Roland, here's the thing that bothers me most. If you listen to the dialogue, you have moderate Republicans saying that Russia, we need a bipartisan investigatory committee on one hand. Who would not want that if Russians meddled in our democracy and our election process? Then you listen to Donald Trump. Donald Trump cannot bring himself to say that we need this bipartisan commission if any meddling. As a super narcissist, as I've often said, he goes right to, you're undermining my election or my win and what have you, and therefore I don't believe anything. He connotes an investigation with Russian meddling with the legitimacy of his victory, and no one on the bipartisan committee, at least on the Senate side, Republican or Democrat, has said it would undermine the legitimacy of his election.
And what does that mean for the person who's going to eventually be our president, that he would even allow the notion, the idea that this is something that has happened? It says a lot about what we should anticipate for the next 4 years. I'm not even going to say
and that his ego is driving him.
Absolutely.
Still driving him.
Absolutely. Driving him the whole time. I mean, all this tweeting is about ego. All of it is about ego.
But there's an even more functional thing here.
You literally reaching for any excuse for why they lost the election outside of Hillary Clinton.
That's not true.
When the primary talking point, when the primary talking point coming out of the media, when the primary,
one second. When the 5 folks cannot talk at one time. Eugene, finish.
When the primary talking point coming out of liberal media is that Russia stole the election for Hillary Clinton, I think Donald Trump has some kind of. It's natural. It's natural for him to be
issue.
It's natural for him to be defensive about the issue.
Everybody's talking to me at one time. No, Julian. No, Julian. Jason.
The issue at play here is not that the Russians gave the election. There are a whole lot of different factors that led to Donald Trump winning by the slim margin that he did. That's not the issue. The idea is that we would have a president who would compromise our national security and our economy and our sovereignty to the Russians in exchange for being president of the United States. That is the problem. And also a bigger issue for the media, I will agree with you on this, is people need to stop believing and trusting in WikiLeaks because they operate like a pawn shop. They just be selling stuff that whatever people hand to them without taking into consideration that WikiLeaks itself was more against Hillary Clinton and as opposed to being against Donald Trump. That's another issue.
The other piece of this is a story. You're not telling the truth when you talk about, you are not telling the truth, and y'all don't, when you're talking about the primary liberal story is about the Russians. We have also talked about voter suppression.
Right.
We saw it in Michigan, we saw it in Wisconsin, and let's not talk about North Carolina, where when I went down stomping for Hillary in one of my old areas in Winston-Salem, in 2012, they had 8 early voting places in Winston. In 2016, they had 1. And that 1 was at the courthouse. So you know who was not going to the courthouse. People who had old tickets, people who had any kind of interaction. And so, you know, you just tell the truth. The truth is that just tell the truth.
The truth is that Hillary Clinton didn't step into Wisconsin one day after a convention.
That's not what we're talking about right now. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Russia playing politics in our election. That is a very serious thing. We're not talking about whether or not Hillary Clinton did everything that she needed to do to win the election. But what we are talking about is even before the election, you had one of Russia's, somebody on Putin's team came out and said, yes, we want Donald Trump to win. Yes, we don't want Hillary Clinton to win. We want the American people to vote. But not only did they say that, they clearly are playing in that space. They're clearly manipulating our vote, and that should be troubling.
Not to mention the fact that Donald Trump's talent.
One second. No, Donald Julian. That's not how it works over here. No, that's not how it works. No, that's not how it works. So y'all hold tight. That's not how it works. Hold on 1 second. Folks, today the Electoral College members meet in their respective state capitals to ratify the election results as required by the U.S. Constitution, but unlike past elections, people around the country are hoping to change enough electors' votes to overturn the results. This online video message to electors was taped by a group of celebrities.
Republican members of the Electoral College, this message is for you.
The Electoral College was created specifically to prevent an unfit candidate from becoming president.
What is evident is that Donald Trump lacks more than the qualifications to be president.
Again, folks, 538 folks will cast their ballots in various states. Some folks have received death threats. Some are getting anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 emails a day, phone calls in the middle of the night as well. Back to our panel. Look, the Constitution allows for this also. Alexander Hamilton wrote in the Federalist Papers the reason for the Electoral College. We know its roots when it comes to slavery, but he also said the Electoral College was meant to guard against foreign governments interfering with U.S. elections. Jason.
That's not going to change anyone's vote. This is the most obnoxious, pretentious, like
Would
this.
you like to see it happen?
I wouldn't like to see it happen. I wouldn't, and here is why. Because as dangerous as I think Donald Trump is, if they change the rules after the fact. Now look, if the electors really wanted to do something interesting, they would say, how about this? Here's our compromise. We'll vote in Mike Pence or Paul Ryan. And then watch the Republicans eat themselves alive at the possibility of getting Paul Ryan into the White House.
But actually, the way the Constitution works, Scott, that is if he does not get 270, the top 3 vote getters are the ones who are the finalists when it goes to the U.S. House of Representatives. And so that's actually allowed. I mean, this is, when we say changing the rules, this is within the rule of law in the Constitution, Scott.
Here's the thing. You just got to turn 36 or 37 of them. I don't think it's going to happen. And then that would send it to the House of Representatives. But remember, these electors would have to vote principal, and many would be facing fines and even other state charges. When I was head of the D.C. Democratic Party,
sure, some
party actually
pay those fines.
It may be, but they're not that principled to do that, I don't think. At least not 37 of them.
The thing is, the electors are selected by the state parties. And, you know, as a, you're former chair of state party, vice chair of a state party. We're selecting the folks that are the hardened folks that we know can't be moved. And so, you know.
But hold on. But you actually had a Texas elector who was a Republican who said, I simply cannot vote for Donald Trump.
And you have other electors, but you're not going to get anywhere near the 30 plus that you need to.
He's not going to get 306. I think on principle, he's going to get less. They'll probably put it like 299 just to show how much not only the majority of the country does not want him, but how absolutely unfit and dangerous he is to the sovereignty of this nation. He's not going to get the 306.
If he gets less than 306 votes, I think that it really does raise questions about is the integrity and the vitality of the Electoral College. And with Hillary having 3 million more votes than Trump did, and with what happened with Al Gore, we're seeing what the weaknesses are. Now, there's got to be some balance, in my opinion. We have small states and big states, so I don't think that small states should be totally disenfranchised. If you said only the popular vote, small states would be at some level.
The Electoral College.
Yes, but perhaps they should get 1 extra and not 2 extra, or something that really kind of modulates it, or that you have something that's proportional, that some states do, so that you get the congressional district and not the entire. But you know, you rigged. You rigged.
The next fight should be for us. Is at the state level, some of these electors by statute are required to vote by the majority, whoever wins the majority.
Only in 26 states.
26 states, but that would free up 26, and you only need 37 to change the outcome of the election.
I just think it's fascinating that this has become an actual topic of conversation. Like, people are really immersed in this, and I think it's good
for those who skip civics.
Yes, well, not only skip civics, but those who never received civics to begin with. Well, it wasn't even an option, right? So there are a lot of people who are engaged in this conversation, and I think it's really a good thing for the democracy. Do I think that we're going to have enough electors change their vote? No, I don't think we are going to. It'll be interesting to see how, you know, the one person in Texas does vote.
Speaking of the issue of what's good for democracy, coming up next, we're talking with Reverend Dr. William J. Barber, head of North Carolina NAACP, about what's happening.